Hello, hello. Another episode from Gamijin on air today. And today we have Matej Lanchar. Sorry, like you introduced yourself in Turn Off Gamers. Yeah, sorry, John Wright. Apologies. People coming here is already kind of celebrity. So, like, I let you to do the intro. Who are you, John?
I'm John Wright. I'm not very important. You don't need to know me. I'm officially unemployed. That's what you need. No. No, on a serious note, I'm John Wright. I'm a gaming industry consultant, advisor, and investor. Previously, I was the vice president of mobile games at Kwalee, where I was managing about 200 people globally, including multiple studios. And before that, I was part of the founding team of Luna Labs, which was a creative technology specializing in playable development, which was acquired by Iron Source, then went public, and then was acquired by Unity. So I've been in gaming for 12-ish years now, and then before that I was an accountant. And don't do finance, it sucks. Okay.
I think if we had to pick like literally one industry opposite direction of gaming, that would be finance, right?
That would be finance, dude. Basically, don't always listen to your parents when they say, playing games means that you won't make money. I make much more money playing games than I ever did in finance.
That's actually so well said. Like parents say that you waste your time by playing games and you go to finance for money, and you see that you wasted your years in finance and you come to gaming.
6 fucking years of my life, bro, studying accounts. I can't get that years back. It was hell. It was hell. I hated it. Never do it. For you, the young guys out there who are watching this podcast now, go with your gut and go that you do what makes you happy. Don't follow your parents because they want you to be a doctor, a lawyer, or an accountant. Because if you do it for someone else's reasons, you won't be happy. Life logic.
John has been saving so many cool shoes, as you see in his background. That was the only way, as he claims.
Yeah, look, the shoes there's a story to the shoes. After we sold Luna Labs, it was during COVID, and basically instead of doing the things that everyone else does normally when they sell a business and get exit money, which is go on holiday, and because it was COVID, me and my wife couldn't do that. So instead of that, I bought a load of Jordans because growing up, my family could never afford them. So I decided when I first made that sort of life changing event and made that money, I was going to live up to my childhood hopes, and I bought an insane amount of Jordans because why not? It made me happy.
Yes, I love it. Like in my childhood, I also had like a toy car selection from like different ones, like from Volkswagen, etc. And they are still there at my home, like yellow. How is it called? Like I think.
Beetle?
Yeah, exactly.
Beetle? Yeah.
Yeah. Loved it.
Because you're in Germany anyway, right? So like it's the home of German automobiles, right? So
Yeah.
BMW, Mercedes, etc. Yeah, look, dude, things. I mean, again, it was great catching up with you at Mob Addictum. Always fun to hang out. If you don't know, he does fantastic impersonations and languages. So if you ever want to, what did I think you? The only one you did to me, you did an English accent, and it was like it wasn't on point. But the other couple you did were really interesting because if I remember right, you originally wanted to be an actor, right? And you did some acting, and
Yeah.
voice acting was part of that. So yeah, I remember the story, dude.
That's lovely, man.
I had some personal changes in my life. My wife and I, we adopted two little boys, two brothers in July last year. And, things at Kwalee were fantastic. But there was, same as a lot of companies right now, they have quite a strong office policy, right? And there's a requirement to go to the office X number of days a week. And where the office was a very long way, it was 200 miles away from where I live in East London. And basically, it just wasn't feasible, dude. I had to make the decision as a man, as a father, as a husband, like, where do my morals sit and what do I want to be known for? And, being away from my children for half a week every week just didn't sit well with me, like, internally, right? Like, in my soul. So I had to make the really tough decision to leave Kwalee, even though I absolutely loved it. I had the best job ever. I was managing 200 people globally. There was multiple different studios that I was in charge of. I was doing internal game development, third-party publishing, and also everything to do with marketing, user acquisition, monetization, creative, PMM, all of that stuff rolled up to me. So I was effectively like the GM of the mobile business, and it was an insane role, right? Like every day I was working with cool people on cool projects, producing new games, coming up with new ideas and strategies to improve the company, improve the process, the operations, testing new technology. It was an awesome job, but I had to give that up for what I know is the higher priority in my life, which is my family, right? And I think a lot of people understand that. I think some people think that probably it was the wrong move. But since I made that decision, I sleep a lot easier. I sleep in my own bed every night, which is great. I take my kids to school every day and I pick them up every day. And look, I'm really enjoying the new freedom to do what I want. And like I said, as being an industry consultant and advisor, I get to work with whoever I like, right? It's not just doing something for the sake of it. I choose the people I interact with. And I want to interact with cool people who are building awesome things that can be either games or tech. And I want to do it for my own reasons rather than, just doing it for someone else. So I'm acting effectively like a founder of my own consultancy, right?
Yeah.
And it's great. Again, like I've had some people contact me and say, "Hey, we would love to work with you," and I've gone no. And it's not to be rude. It's just because I didn't believe in what they were doing, right? And now I can choose. So, yeah, very much enjoying the new life I'm at. It's a good time, dude. Like I said, I get more time with family. I'm doing more impactful work. I think, the major difference is when you're managing like 200 people, big percentage of your day is to do with like one-to-one meetings or joining calls or just doing like operational stuff, documentation, approving HR things, approving purchase orders for UA spends on Facebook. And in this current role, all I do is really strategic stuff, right? I deal with pure founders. And so in Kwalee, I was probably only spending 10% of my time on strategy because you're dealing with operations. Now I'm doing 90% strategy and probably 10% operations. And it's just a new way of doing really impactful, cool work, dude, which I love.
That's actually so well said. It's like literally the meat with a different fat ratio, like right now the meat quality is so high, it's directly protein for you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really cool. Like, who is actually John? So, like, my biggest curiosity outside of business, let's, put aside gaming industry, like, your hobbies, what you enjoy. We actually see that you are a gym bro.
Yeah, I am a gym bro. But no, what you need to know about me is I love walking on sandy beaches and drinking margaritas. No, that's a joke. I do like doing that, but that's not one of my things. But no, dude, look, sports is a big thing to me. I played semi-professional rugby throughout my 20s. I really believe that there is a correlation between my experience playing sports and predominantly being a captain of a team and into my management style and how I've run businesses in the past. So I really count like the camaraderie and playing team sports. And rugby was predominantly the one I did, but I also played football at school. I played for the school team, and I also played basketball for the school team. And I've always had an affiliation with sports, and I think it teaches you a lot of life skills, right? Like I'm really looking forward for my kids to start going to football practice because I think it will help their development, right? How you deal with people in respect, how you deal with confrontation sometimes, right? Like it teaches you a lot of life skills. So yeah, sports is a big one for me. Rugby in particular. I don't play now because I'm nearly 40 and my bones will break there. So I've moved from playing, competitive contact sports to, doing high rocks and weightlifting. You'll see on LinkedIn pictures of me and Matej and Felix working out, or me and Mishka Katkov working out, or me and some CEO of a studio working out, because I have a practice, which is when I'm at conferences and events, I try and have like some impartial meetings with people in the gym. And I think there's something nice about working out together. There's a bond that's created, and then you can also like get to know someone a bit more, and then that helps develop maybe sometimes a business or professional relationship. So I like it. There's a bunch of people out there who do like running clubs at PGC, but I'm not a runner. I'm too big, like it just doesn't work for me. But
Too big to run.
yeah, I'm too big to run. I do run. I'm going for a run straight after this actually because I have to. Because I haven't gone for one this week, and I have to go for at least one run a week. But it's tough for me when you're a big guy. And then look, the other things I guess to know about me again, like I'm a very family centric person. I've been with my wife 15 years married this year, nearly 20 years being in a relationship. Our two boys are extremely important to us. I make sure that my mum and my rest of my family are looked after because I love them, and same that everyone says. But they're very much in my thoughts on a regular basis. Like when I'll make decisions and I'll think, what will my mum think of that? Her opinion means a hell of a lot to me, and I've always been sort of raised by strong women and had strong women in my life, and it's a very important aspect of who I am is to make sure that I think they would be proud of me, even if I'm taking a new job, right? And I'm like, what would the opinion of my friends or family be? Apart from that, dude, I'm just a geek. I love playing games. I read manga, anime. Like I play RPGs. Blatro is my currently what I'm playing the most of right now. But I've got like a sleeve of tattoos, which is dedicated to Final Fantasy because it's my favorite game series ever, right? And so, yeah, look, I'm also like an insanely happy guy. And the reason I'm happy all the time is because, as we said earlier, I started off my career in finance and I hated it. It was terrible. And so every day I get to work in games and do what I love and marry my passion to my professional ability. It's a good day, like I can't not be happy. Even on a bad day in gaming is better than a good day in finance, trust me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's I guess that's a lot about me from a personal perspective.
That's actually like very well summarized. Love it. Finance to gaming, and also like you climbed the ladders one by one. Need to point it out that it's like not easy to be VP mobile gaming publishing in Kwalee. Like it took so much effort to come there. I actually would like to ask about what did you learn from all these?
Yeah, look, I think it's a really good question. Like, what are my sort of like most impactful thoughts and things I've learned? So I guess the big one is it's very hard to do anything by yourself. Like you can do solo stuff, right? You can build a company by yourself, but I think one of the most important things I've found, and again, this starts off with my background in sports and playing team sports. Like I've always been a big believer in like you can be much more successful together if you're truly in it together, right? So if you surround yourself with similar minded people who have the same drive, the same want, in life, the same passions, if you can find those people that you click really well with, then you can establish culture. And that's like how you develop culture in startups and stuff like that, is by finding people who want to achieve the same things to you. So I would say, yeah, a big thing for me was understanding that, it's okay to get support. It's okay to work with other people. Like it's not you versus them. A lot of people think that it's directly you versus someone is competition, but actually together you can lift each other up and be much more powerful together as a team. So yeah, I would say, understanding that you can rely on other people and you can build teams and culture and stuff like that. And that is where most of my success has come from, is definitely a point which is always at the front of my mind. The other thing I would say is, again, it goes back to passion and doing what you love. I feel like the people who are the best at what they do, and it could be anything. It could be, VP of publishing. It could be a doctor, I don't know, a cleaner, whatever you want to say, whatever your chosen position and job in life is, if you do that job with general passion and enjoyment, I believe that you just do it much better. And I also believe happy people work harder, happy people get better results because it's a mindset thing. When you're in a good mood and you're happy and you believe in yourself, you're less likely to say, like, to put yourself down and basically come to a conclusion that you can't do something. The difference between like coming up with solutions or highlighting problems. What you want is someone who's going to come up with creative solutions to a problem, not just come to you and say, I've got a problem, fix it, right? And so like those mindsets, I think, are extremely important. And like I said, do what you love if you can. And I know a lot of people don't have the option to do that because that's not the way that life works. But if you can somehow make it happen, I guarantee you'll go through life a lot happier. And in general, in your personal life, you'll be much happier. I've always had this strong belief, which is there's this happiness index, and it's a triangle, right? And the triangle is you've got your family life, you've got your professional life, and then you've got like your friends. And if what you need to keep the triangle positive and upwards is two of those things to be going well. So, if you have a good family life and a good friend life, but you have bad time at work, you can get through work, right? But if you have issues with your friends or your partner, your relationship, your wife, and you also have issues at work, that triangle inadverts, and then you become negative and things become worse. So yeah, you just need if you can focus on that happiness index, that 3-point triangle, and try and make those things work. And if work is normally the most stressful one for a lot of the time, family can be, but work is the one that comes up being stressful more often. So if you can make sure you're working in an environment where you're happy and you build that environment, you choose who you work for, you choose who you work with, all of that stuff, you'll just go through life a lot better.
And is it still applicable for finance industry?
Look, man, there's some people out there who probably love a calculator. There's probably some people out there who do it. I just wasn't one of them. Okay, you know what my drivers were? I was 14 years of age. The teacher said to me, okay, like you need to start thinking about what you're going to choose to do with your work life. And I was very good at math. I was in like the top percent of my school in math. And they were like, oh, you're good at math, so you should work with numbers. You should work in finance or accountancy. And then from 14 to 25, 11 years of my life, I basically dedicated it to becoming the best in school in math-related subjects, then going to a good school, a good college and university to study accountancy and get a good degree, diploma in my case, and then choosing to go work in one of the biggest companies in finance in Europe. But it didn't make me happy. It was just because I didn't know what I want to do with my life. And when I was at school, you left at 16. Leaving school at 16, you don't know what the fuck you want to do.
Yeah, no.
Like, what the heck? You're a kid, Like, now the law's changed here, so you have to leave school at 18. And it's a big difference between 16 and 18. I think you really develop as a person, right? And you can then have a better idea of what you want to dedicate your life to. But I think the most important thing as well, one of the other things regarding this is don't be afraid to pivot, right? Don't be scared of change, man. It took me 2 years to get into games. I was trying everything I could. And eventually I found performance marketing and I found transferable skills from finance, which is very calculation driven. And performance marketing is all about calculations and numbers. And that was my pivot, right? So don't just think because you're unhappy in a role in a company or in life, you can't make changes and better yourself. Like if you're in UA, right, but you want to go be a product manager, find your path to becoming a product manager. Go spend time with product managers. Read stuff online. Follow people on LinkedIn who talk about this. You can do whatever you want to do with your life as long as you choose to do it. So, yeah, don't take no for an answer, right? Like, carry on, moving forward to find your own personal happiness in your professional life. And if that means you want to do a different role and focus on a different discipline within games, or you want to go from games to apps or whatever, you can do it. You just need to put the work in, right? And I said, for me, it took 2 years. And it would have been the reason why I also... I like to help people, and I'm always very open to speaking to people when they message me and stuff, is because, again, I didn't know anyone in games. If I would have known people in games before I tried to get in games, it would have taken me half the time. So your network is your net worth. Very important.
That should be the headline of our blog post summarizing this podcast.
Yeah.
That's very well said, actually. And yeah, like I think like there is no direct university degree like mobile gaming or so. Like you can be either software developer, etc. But still, they have to find some tricks to get into gaming. So that's so true, actually. And I also wanted to ask about, like, right now you have this series of content that you are like writing. How would you depict that? What would you say?
Yeah, dude. So I'm currently doing like a video series and LinkedIn series talking about just publishing. They're like publishing to a lot of people is still quite like a mysterious thing, and it's been like publishing has been going on for like hundreds of years, right? Like in terms of like the book world, right? Like you've had publishers in books for years, and you have the same thing in every other form of entertainment. And I feel like there's just some of the times the publisher is seen as a bit of a bad guy, right? It's like the developer seeing them as taking all of this money away from them. But I think that comes from a lack of education. And what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to explain to the developers just the inside workings of a publisher so people have a better understanding of why things are done like this. I think if the more information they have, the better. There's a quote from The Art of War, which is, if you know your enemy as well as you know yourself, and you will not be defeated in 100 battles. Right? And I know that the publisher isn't the enemy per se, but knowing them and their inner workings, and I'm not giving any secrets away here, right? I'm just talking about theoretical process and the way that things are done. But I'm really just hoping, man, that if I can, open people's eyes to some of these inner workings and explain to them some of the things that they should be thinking about, they should be focused on, the questions they should ask, that inadvertently more developers will get published, which is good for gaming because we want more new games into market, and it's never been more difficult. Publishers are happy because they're making more money. And overall, I'm just using my newfound time to try and better the industry and give back some of the success and the goodwill that I've been shown, right? Like I've had plenty of people that helped me in the beginning. So if I can't do the same now, then why am I here, right? So yeah, the new series it's going well, dude. Like maybe I'm making the videos a little bit too long, but the problem is they're really big subjects, really big questions. And I want to try and give people actionable insight so they can take this forward, right? So, but yeah, maybe at the end of it, I'll write like a book, the absolute need to knows about mobile publishing.
I would definitely be one of the buyers, definitely, for sure.
Thanks. I'll sell one at least. And then I'll get my mum to buy one.
Okay, we are two now. I mean, it's more than enough, literally. What kind of, projects, works, even teams do you currently focus on, look for?
Yeah, dude, look, I'm working with a bunch of people right now. There's two things that I focus on, really. One is working with studios to essentially improve their chances to either get funding or published. Okay, so the idea is that I work with companies, I look at the games, I provide product feedback, but I also give them feedback on the monetization strategy and what the user acquisition strategy is, and essentially how the publisher or the VC will look at how they present themselves. So it's like, what does their deck look like? What is their unique selling point? Like, how much are they looking to raise? Is that feasible? Is the project too big for them because they don't have the team to be able to execute? And there's all these red flags that VCs and publishers basically see. And I'm trying to work with studios to just make them more successful from a professional standpoint, right? To make sure that they are investable, that they could be published. And again, my goal is simple: get more games in the market, because a high tide rises all ships. What's good for the ecosystem is good for me and good for you and good for everyone else, brother. Okay? And then the other thing I work with, the other part of it, is I work with technology companies who specialize in supporting games or the gaming industry. So this could be, technology partners like I'm currently advising for something like Stack, which is, or what I think is the best in market web store solution out there, right? And web stores is a massive thing this year. So, I'm working with those guys. I'm working with MetaGigs, which is an amazing company in the player-to-player economy side. So this is focusing on new innovation around monetization and how gaming studios can make more money from their users by creating a new way of doing that. And again, this player-to-player economy is amazing. It's like, you could, pay someone, like it's like the Fiverr for gaming. It's like I could need you to help me do a raid in World of Warcraft. And so I could pay you to help me rather than waiting around for 10 hours to try and find the right people to do it, right? And there's just like so much like interesting stuff from a product perspective that I'm working on right now. I can't talk about all of it, but yeah, some of the companies are really cool. And I'm just trying to help them directionally on how do they find product market fit? How do they find like the right people to work with? How do they grow as a business? What is the market reception? And does it fall in line with what I think where the market is going and the predictions that I've had? So yeah, look, so I either work with studios or I work with tech companies, which is basically what I've done in gaming for the last 12 years. So I spend tons of time with founders. I spend time doing lots and lots of strategy. And then at the end of it, hopefully these businesses become more successful and I've had a small part to play in that success.
That's so cool, actually. Like you are literally using your expertise to go on the more strategic aspect. I think like you are already jumping into like big potential projects or teams, and that's the biggest priority for you right now.
And I'm not doing loads though, right? Like I'm trying to rebalance my life, and my family is coming first. So I'm still having plenty of hours a day to focus on me, to do stuff I want to do, to spend time with my kids. But right now, the consulting advisory stuff is looking good. I can't complain. I like the work. And maybe I'll try and get some more business and work with some more people in the near future. But right now, I'm kind of content and happy.
What would you want to say to industry people?
Man, I think I would just say like, again, do what's best for you and don't be held back by other things. Like in my example, I made a big decision to go focus on my family as my first priority. And there's probably other people out there who are making other sacrifices, with friends and family and maybe doing what they love or what they want to do because of other commitments, other things. And I think sometimes you need to be a little bit selfish, and do what's best for you. So like focus on yourself and try and try and find what you love. Find your passion, find what makes you happy, and then try to go into that general direction and area. Because look, man, I think you're 30-ish, right? And I'm nearly 40-ish. I'm 38 this year. Like I've been working this year 20 years, right? It's my 20th year in a professional capacity. And like people say life is short, but life is long.
Yeah.
Life is long, dude. And so do what you want to do with your life. Don't be pigeonholed or stuck doing something that doesn't make you happy. Like I've still got another 15, 20 years of work. You best believe I'm not going to spend it like I did the first 6 years of my life.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm going to do what I'm doing for the last couple of years. I'm going to do for the rest of my life, right? Unless I go find some goodwill cause and plant trees in the Amazon or something, right? Like I also want to do something like that once in my life. So, but yeah, do what find your passion and, find a way to make it work. And it will be tough and it won't, easily come. But if you work hard and you really try and you utilize your network and people around you and all of the other stuff, you eventually will just be much better off, much more happy and go through life in a much better place. So yeah, I'm as you can tell, I'm much happier than 6 months ago because I don't have that added stress that I had of commuting and being away from family. So yeah, I'm all about the positive vibes at the moment.
That's lovely, man. So I think very, very well said. Like we should all find what we truly love, not just business, but also we are talking about family. So you should also find your true love. That means a lot as well. Thank you, John. Like it's been big pleasure and like looking forward to catching up in person very soon in the events.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Always happy to see you. You're also a great guy. You got good energy, positive vibes. Like you're a good person to know and get to know. And yeah, for everyone listening, I hope you spend time with Omer at these places because, yeah, just get him to do his impersonations and show his acting career. It's great.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thanks.
Awesome. Bye, everyone.